Yo, what up, world? You are now tuned to the RegularJohn Podcast, man. And tonight, man, I'm in a secret location. And this moment is huge for the city, huge for the RegularJohn Podcast, because I'm in the presence of real hip-hop at this moment. Mr. Page 86, Mr. Slim Papa. The name goes on. Mr. Madison Jay, man. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I appreciate you for having me, brother.
Man, this is an epic moment, man, because I appreciate bardsmiths. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate real rap. Not saying what people doing right now isn't real rap, but I appreciate the journey of lyrics that an artist takes to listener.
Yes, sir.
If that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? To paint vivid pictures.
Yes, sir.
And you are one of those artists. And explain Madison Jay, man. Where did the name Madison Jay come from, and what does it mean?
All right, so the name Madison Jay came from, I was going through a transition period of getting a new name. My old name was Messiah. And I was looking for a new name. And in the search of the name, I was like, yo, I gotta have something that's like fire. If I'm like, really looking long term at doing this, it's got to be something that's really going to, catch people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing a test review in class one day in high school, like U.S. history, and I was going through the glossary, and I floated across James Madison and John Jay, but the way the names were set up, last name first, so it was like Madison, then Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, that shit, like the Madison stuck out. I was like, yo, it's something about that Madison. Like, if I called myself Madison, I think like it'll catch people's attention because it's like, yo, who the fuck is Madison?
Right.
You know what I mean? When it comes to like hip hop and rap. So then I seen the J, and I just like how homie's name was spelled out J-A-Y.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just like the way it won't just a letter, but you had to like add additional letters, J-A-Y. You know what I mean? K-A-Y.
Right.
You know what I mean? Things of that nature. So I put the two together, Madison Jay. And it's crazy. I remember I went to lunch and told the homies, like, yo, this is the new name. And it's just one of those things, I think, like, I was just born to have that name. It just fits me so well to the point now people feel like my name, my actual birth name or something is Madison, which is not. But,
Right.
that's how much that name is, like, just become a part of my aura and my being.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So how long you been rapping? And you grew up in, for one, you grew up in North Carolina.
Yeah,
You
grew up. Yeah, Raleigh.
Raleigh.
You know what I mean? Raleigh.
And you been rapping for how long now?
Been rapping for a minute.
Dang. When did you first start? Like,
Well, I mean, I've, always been a part of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Especially as a teen. Like, super locked in on, like, studying albums and, it was more of like a finding myself phase.
Mm-hmm.
And just throughout the years, of course, learning the business of the game and then moving in a more business-oriented sense. I had to step my game up and from songwriting and things of that nature. So it was a long process, but literally the culmination of that whole process is where the beauty of it is where I'm at now. You know what I mean? In all honesty, I look back and I'm like, I've, developed myself, just like almost, raising a child in a sense, but it's working on a craft just the same way, an athlete betters their craft over the years. It's the same thing. So it's like I've been rapping forever,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of monetary and business wise, I definitely would say like a decade to 8 years. You know what I mean? 8 to 10 years of just, money is being, spent in some degree, and I'm setting a plan to execute as opposed to just, I got tracks, listen to me. Like, nah, like graphic art is being made, but as the years have progressed to radio, magazines, billboards, things of that nature. So, really, I'm gonna be real. The answer, it's not really a thing of what the answer is, because you got to understand throughout time, like, for somebody to be doing it, how long I've been doing it, and even people who've been doing it longer than I've been doing it, and to have a certain degree of, like, sharpness with their sword, you gotta recognize that, and you gotta tip your hat to that, because like at the end, it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy to have that resiliency and to be able to withstand in this game, because it's very treacherous. It's very, you know, it'll take the life out of you. So, but to really, to the root of the question, though, I've been rapping probably like a solid, you know, I've been rapping for a while, and only getting better.
So let me ask you this, back to like your rapping, like, because I went listening to your flow. Let me ask you this: in high school, were you battling?
Yeah, definitely battling. It's funny battling cats from other schools, battling my own group members. You know what I mean? And that was just more or less to like competition to see who's the best, but also to sharpen the sword.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta, you know, you get better with your peers, and then from there you graduate to, yo, let me challenge people who not in my circumference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me step out, go across town, or go to another city, or even go to another state. You know what I mean, to challenge somebody, and just the era that I came up in, that still meant something.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to be able to show
everything back then.
Yeah, you got to be able to show and prove at the end of the day. Even if, you know, I say even if you were this type of rapper, yo, you still come in the cypher. You might not have to battle, but you come in with a verse or something, and it's got to be ill. It's got to be dope.
Right.
Of course, you know, things have changed now, but yeah, battling was definitely something that was a priority for like the first couple of years of my career.
Yeah, because listening, it's almost like listen to the flows. It's like, man, these punchlines, they hit, and they're almost like ain't no letting up off them joints, and they connect. Like, it's ridiculous. So I can just imagine what the lunchroom was like. And what school did you go to?
High school, I went to Athens Drive.
Athens, okay.
You know what I mean? Shout out to the Drive. That was home base for all 4 years. So
I went to Sleeville is what they called it.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, I was just talking to somebody the other day. Like, at the end of the day, shout out to Athens, man. But, you know, it was internally, it was things that were trying to thwart my groups. You know what I'm saying? And I was affiliated with a few different groups, you know, rap as well as, you know, the first high school fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Theta Phi Psi.
Okay.
Shout out to Theta.
Nice.
They were trying to thwart these things. They were thwarting our rapping, us just rapping in ciphers. And you're telling kids like, yo, at the end of the day, it's not causing, you know, a disturbance in terms of some, you know, it would be during lunch, before school, you know, like periods, and not like, yo, we skipping to go rap or something like that. And if we were, like, hey man, we doing it. You know what I'm saying? We're really dedicated to this. So at the end of the day, like, I look at the schools, it's like, yeah, you know, you might have certain elements of schools, like, yo, certain predominant is here or whatever, but I always look at it as like, without that school, I wouldn't have met my brothers. You know what I'm saying? You know, who basically, you know, we grew up and became inspired off of the culture, therefore trying to follow the culture, you know what I mean, follow an element of the culture with the rap thing and try to do that. And, you know, like, so I shout out to all the, you know what I mean, especially in the county, you know what I mean, in Wake County, shout out to all the schools.
I was going to ask you what the county meant, because a question
Yeah.
one of my listeners wanted to know was, what does county mean?
Man, county represents the underdog. County represents, but the underdog that's like, yo, that's not gonna lose. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm an underdog, but I'm not here to lose though.
Right.
Like, I'm not here to take an L by any means, but I am an underdog. And county, like, that's the county. You know what I mean? I represent Wake County to the fullest.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a beautiful county, you know what I mean, within those lines. And that's what I represent. And it's more like, where we from, you got people who rep that. You know what I mean? They rep Johnston County. You know what I mean? They rep Durham County. They rep Rockingham County. Like, they rep the county. Right. So at the end of the day, it's a shout out to them.
Yeah. So it's a collective.
Yeah, it's a collective. You know what I mean? A collective of underdogs. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but again, not the ones who, like, I'm thankful to be here, and I mean, nah, we come to win.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what's up. So let's get into these daggone albums, man. Because listen, I don't know if I wrote these down wrong, but doing my due diligence,
right?
You know, I like to listen to the artists, but I also like to get to know the artists too.
Right.
But I was looking at all your albums, and world, I said albums, because this catalog is
Plural.
heavy. This catalog is heavy. 2012, if I'm mistaken, was a busy year for you, man. You dropped some joints back to back like almost every month.
Yeah, I did.
And the first one, Rap is Like Wrestling. I want to say, is that the first one?
It was 2012. We're looking at Raps Like Wrestling 2.
Yeah, that's true. But before that, the first one was 2000.
Yeah, 2009.
2009.
Yeah,
2000, yeah, so I did write them down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 2012 was busy because I was like, yo, this dude dropping March, April, another one in April, like August. You was working.
Yeah.
What kept you motivated to keep dropping them joints like back to back? Like you was just flooding the streets at that point.
And it's crazy because I'm like low key in the same cycle now, and that's like something to think about. But 2009, I dropped Raps Like Wrestling 1. You know what I mean? And that's really like my, I say, debut project. Not debut album, but it's my debut project. Like the first joint, I'm solo, solo dolo. I done really got some marketing or something. I got an official cover. This ain't nothing on paper.
Right.
I did a printed out
Right.
in a printer at the crib. Like, nah, I got this joint sent out. Somebody cooked it up, sent back. I got the CD pressed up, you know what I mean, with my phone number, my Yahoo, my MySpace, mind you, dated.
MySpace,
you know what I'm saying?
popping.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With that, and it was on and popping. But after that, I was a little stagnant in releasing content, where I needed to be. Even then, needed to stay, relevant and working.
Mm-hmm.
And when 2012 came, I say, yo, fuck it. I gotta make sure I hit niggas with a lot of content. So I did a documentary. I did, multiple wrestling projects, kind of piggybacking off of that. And my whole thing with doing the wrestling thing was I wanted to do something different. Yeah. Essentially, I wanted to do something different to stand out. Like, I'm not about to, have like a sex tape out here, do nothing crazy.
Right.
But I'm about to come with a whole different wave of where it's like, yo, what the hell is this? What is he doing? You know what I'm saying? But, yo, this joint's kind of hot, though.
I like that angle, though.
Yeah.
Rap is like wrestling.
Yeah.
Because it just hit different. And it makes you pay attention.
Right.
Like, because everybody has different perspectives when it comes to wrestling.
Right.
As they might think it's something that it's really not. You know, if that makes
Right,
sense.
right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, some people say it's fake, some people say it's scripted.
Right.
But that project alone, when I asked around about it, people were saying the shit was classic. And it was like, the punchlines, everything on there was dope. The way you included the wrestlers into the
Right.
flows. Man, everybody saying that jump was classic. And I was like, just upon listening to it, I was like, I like where he was going with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was, what was that feeling like when you first released that first project before you got all the way to 2012? How did you feel after you did that?
It was a great feeling. It was crazy for that project. A lot was going on in terms of I'm fresh off of now having my my second child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? My son, he is now in the world, and I had a daughter, so now I have 2 kids. Now it's like, okay, hey, something's got to shake.
Right.
And even still at that early stage in my career, I'm like, yo, something's got to shake. You know what I'm saying? So I just took it upon myself because I was a part of a collective.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Prior. But it's a thing of, I'm a solo artist, but I'm a part of this like Wu-Tang-esque collective of people. But yo, we rock together, and we're like the Wu. Like, nah, you're gonna get H-Gang headhunters, and then you might get like another artist. You know what I'm saying? If that works out. But it wasn't like. But once I just saw how things were kind of moving with the group, I just saw a very large number of people, so that's always hard to navigate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, I gotta go solo dolo, you know what I mean, officially.
Right.
So I had to put this project out, and again, I'm thinking, yo, looking at how things are going, what can I do to stand out again without doing anything crazy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do anything where I'm just kind of sacrificing myself just for a cheap buck or cheap thrill. So I say, yo, I gotta do this wrestling thing. And, you know, shouts out to Lava Izzo. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Gage. Very instrumental in the recording process of putting that project together. You know, it's one of those things of without them, who knows where the direction may have gone, you know, in terms of the recording. Because there were two guys that I was, you know, very familiar with, very comfortable with in terms of recording. Right. And I'm like, yo, I'm about to hit him and show him what Madison Jay can do. Like these concepts, I'm about to flip him. And what's crazy, it definitely, when I look back, it definitely was a, you know, it definitely was one of those things of like, this is dope, this is different. I would consider it definitely a classic, and it's crazy because off of that project, you know, I got a cosign from Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Word.
Yeah, he retweeted. I did a video for for a song I had, County 316, and part of Self, Stone Cold The Rock.
Okay.
Or was it County 316? It was one of those videos. He had retweeted it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's heavy because Stone Cold's my guy.
Dumb heavy. And then I'm like, views shot up in a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shot up.
Stone Cold's the dude, man.
You know what I mean? Still is that guy, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steve. But now, you know, a lot of cosigns from, you know, wrestling and hip hop heads alike. And it was one of them things like, yo, that's why once you know, the years progressed, I'm like, shit, why not pick up from that momentum, from those moments, and try to create something else? And I'm glad that I went on that spree in 2012 to, you know what I mean, because essentially it was almost like I'm getting this out of my system as well, moving on to the next chapter, because I haven't really touched wrestling in that specific light in my music again since that phase. But it's crazy because I'm going to touch that zone at some point again.
That was a heavy phase, though. That's right around the time Raw was popping real heavy.
It was popping real heavy within the, you know what I mean? Yeah, especially within the within the. It's not really this is like the new era, but kind of the post Attitude era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, Cena at his peak. A lot of activity, which again, that's kind of what inspired it. Like, I'm like, yo, this crossover can be done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Why not me take the risk of trying to see it pop?
Yeah. So when it comes to like, you did the same thing in 2013 too. You dropped the Trap for the 90s joint.
Yes,
Trap to the 90s, and shout to that, man.
Yes.
90s is like, that was the golden era of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And everybody had hits back then.
Yeah.
And everybody has stuff to say. And I want to thank you for doing that one.
Hey man, thank you so much.
2 of those, because those is heavy. Appreciate the Beats was crazy that you jumped on. That was just, it gives you, when you listen to music, in my opinion, you listen to music from the 90s, you could remember exactly where you was at.
Yeah.
And the feeling of nostalgia, I'm probably saying that word wrong.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly
but
right.
that feeling, it takes you back to something like the best cookout you ever had, or the best hangout spot.
Yep.
And just bringing that back, man, that was just dope.
That was the energy.
Yeah.
They
don't make music like that anymore.
And it was crazy making it. It felt like going back in time. You know what I mean? It was so weird, like it was like a time capsule. And trapped in the 90s. I just was in a serious car accident the year before. And, you know, I messed up my arm, and I had to actually write with my left hand if I was doing any writing at all. But I started, you know, progressing writing a little bit with the left hand, but eventually things started progressing with my right, so I'm able to at least write, even if it's like, it was scratch at first. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy to think about it. It was scratch, but it was like, yo, I could at least, you know. But so as things went over 2013, I'm like, yo, I'm about to hit the ground motherfucking running. I'm about to go full speed, only because of, I want to me, you know, raps like wrestling was an experiment, I think, that passed, but I didn't want people to just fully think of me as somebody who was about to rap about wrestling.
Right.
Nah, buddy. You know what I mean?
Right, it's deeper than that.
Deeper. That's just one, you know what I mean?
One layer.
Of many. So y'all about to now get this work. But again, in that whole thing of trying to stand out, I'm like, yo, let me get the people's attention by talking slick over these 90s beats that people are familiar with. You know what I mean? So I chose some joints that I was, you know, listening to, that I really vibed to from that era, and just joints that I was searching through. You know what I mean? I had a database of 90s beats just to go through, and you know what I mean? Once I was checking these joints out, I'm like, oh man. You know what I mean? So I love that era. One of my favorite eras, that Trapped in the 90s era. And at the end of the day, I recorded so much off the first one that I'm like, I have to put out a second one.
Right.
So that's really how the second one came into play, because I just had so many tracks left over from the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm just thankful to, you know, that people received it well, and you know, again,
It was needed, man.
yeah, we might get it again, because you know, those two eras, I just, you know, two of my you know, catalyst and well-received projects. So I felt like it's only right for me to go back into those zones at a certain point. So I got some things lined up for. It's funny, both of those, you know, airs that we could be seeing at some point, possibly this year or top of next year.
Right. So when it comes to your albums, you know, you had the Return to Gap debut album.
Yes, sir.
That, all the work that you put from the earlier mixtapes, I wouldn't say mixtapes, mixtapes, that you put out to the Return to the Gap, it painted such a dope visual as far as where you were going.
Right.
And I like the intro, how you was getting personal.
Oh yeah.
And just the joints on there was hella dope. Now I want to say Hot Shit was on the second album, I believe.
Yep.
And actually, that story on that, I first discovered that on Hot 97.9, and I was like, the beat alone sounds like some wrestling shit, but it sounds like some shit that you just want to take somebody's head off.
Right.
It's speed through traffic with the Mac 10 out. Right. You just want to go through, and I was just like, yo, that shit's heavy. Like, keep playing that joint. I remember when it dropped, I was like, yo, I had to vote for that one. And I actually saw the live interview for that one. That was pretty cool too. Yeah. It's just these albums, man. Which one was the hardest to complete? After all the mixtapes you've done, out of those three albums, which one was the hardest to complete?
Out of the three, out of Return and Gap, I guess was out of which, let me see, which three?
You had the, you said which three? That's a lot, y'all.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's like, which three? The Return to Gap, Purple Fried Chicken.
And
That steamer, I couldn't pronounce that.
I'm telling you, man.
I wouldn't even go try that. Like, I wouldn't even go try it.
I promise you, it's not even a thing, because that's. Wow, I don't know if we can get into the diastema zone, but that's the exact reason of naming it that, because it's a perfect conversation starter. Because you know, people, like, I had to learn once I had seen it, and I was like, how do you pronounce that? And I literally had to teach myself how to pronounce that word. Yeah, you know,
I was like, okay.
I'm telling you, I promise you, I could not say it. I listened to the Google Translate. You know what I mean? I fixed myself to saying that word to the point of where I'm like, again, I'm gonna name my album this because, of course, going on with the Gap thing, but also it's a way for me to tell people more about the album, because they're gonna ask, what does that mean and how do you say it? So once I say it, then I can keep on talking, keep flowing, you know what I mean, and hit them with the game. So
what does it mean?
Diastema is the medical term of a gap.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We just say, like, yo, you got a gap in your teeth, but it's referred to as diastema. You know what I mean? A spacing in between teeth. So that diastema, also because it's the separation. It's a gap between me and other artists. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of setting that in the sand, like, yo, this is where I draw the line. I'm better than y'all. Like, separation. So it's a gap between me and other artists. But
damn,
you know.
Okay.
The most difficult though. Most difficult.
Yeah, out of all those albums, which one's the hardest to complete, man?
I would probably say Return of the Gap. And difficult, good. you know what I mean, because it's my debut, so I'm trying to make sure things is A1.
A lot of pressure on that first
Yeah,
one,
a lot of pressure on it. And at the end of the day, I'm like, with Purple Fried Chicken, easy peasy, you know. I definitely got somebody who's super dedicated to, you know, doing all that technical stuff. And then Diastema, I'm like, man, I'm a vet, you know what I mean? Like, but that Return of the Gap, just because it's trying to convey the right things, the right songs, and, you know, make sure everything is up to par. Because like I said, it's my first debut. It's me, first time on the big lights.
I'm having a nerd moment here while you talking. I was listening, but I'm having a nerd moment. So Purple Fried Chicken, was that your homage to the Purple Tape?
Yes. Half and half. A homage, but
like just the cover part, not just like the material, but just like the cover part. So I was looking at the Purple Fried Chicken, I was like, yo, why is this giving me Purple Tape vibes, man? Like the Raekwon tape.
It takes the life of that. It takes the life of its own off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, heavily inspired by the chef.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shouts out to the chef. I even shot him, you know what I mean, the PFC shirts. Yo, and the Purple Tape to let him know, hey King, you did that. You know what I'm saying? Because we got cassette tapes made, purple cassette tapes. You know what I mean? With the Purple Fried Chicken on it. You know what I mean? I actually still got that encased. But of course, it's like things are subconsciously done sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it was a whole different vibe from what with Cuban Links and the Purple Tape is. But the aesthetic, letting you know this is something that's very different. You know, with the Purple Tape, even a purple cassette, getting it on that, inspired off of the Purple Tape, of course, hence the namesake. But like, man, I'm a student of the game, so at the end of the day, definitely paying homage, but also at the same time, like, this is still something different. You know what I mean? This is Purple Fried Chicken.
So when it comes to everything that you have put into the game, as far as North Carolina artists are concerned, do you feel, well, shit, you're a vet at this point? Because, wait, I just had another moment, man. I'm sitting in front of somebody that was just totally on Shade 45, like.
Where you go, Shade 45.
He's on a regular podcast. Oh, wait, okay. Well, I'm having moments here. I'm tripping. So when it comes to, when it comes to, like, North Carolina rap, like, do you feel you get the proper just due?
Definitely not, but at the end of the day, I don't let it deter me. It's something that you can't, like, let consume you, because then you're starting to do something different now. Mm-hmm. You're starting to chase that.
Right.
I'm not looking to chase that, you know what I mean? Getting my just due is cool, don't get me wrong, but it's not the thing that's going to push me forward. Me sharpening my sword and continuing to work diligently and just go hard, that's what's going to push me forward. So at the end of the day, that's the things that I'm, more or less focused to. I know just off of the people, you know what I mean, and off of what I do, what it is. I don't, each year, as a list comes out, some type of list.
Yeah, I see those lists, man.
Sometimes might be mentioned, sometimes not. You know what I mean? I never take things like that because, I don't take it personal because it's someone's opinion. Mm-hmm. We turn into a people where we take someone else's opinion as gold.
Right.
Not understanding, it's an opinion. It's a personal statement of how someone else feels that may or may not relate to the situation
it's
that
a
they
whole
speak
asshole.
on. Everybody got one. Everybody got one.
That's facts.
But what is it doing to change and shift to shift the whole situation? Most of the time it's not doing a damn thing. So just at the end of the day, I just don't even really give too much energy into things like that, because it's like, why? It's just not conducive to what's going on, so I just try to give it no mind and no energy whatsoever.
Let's talk about that page, though.
Hey, man.
Page, what's the number? Page, say pay people in the back. What's page? Page
86.
86, page 86.
How
did that come apart about, and how did you feel like I saw a brief clip of you actually holding the magazine.
Right.
And I'm just want to know, what was you first feeling when it first happened? Like, you know what I mean? Because that's huge for the county. That's huge for North Carolina. Like, you know, we've had a couple of artists do that.
Right, yeah.
Shelly B was in, back in the day.
Shout out to the Queen, man.
Shout out to the Queen, man. She was in The Source. I'm sure there's another one.
Featured on The Source as well.
Yeah.
Featured on The Source.
Petey Pablo, and then...
And Petey, from Durham, you know, the OG Twip.
Yep.
I mean, he was featured.
One World, I think. Small World.
Yeah, Small World.
Yeah. And then
Right.
Madison Jay.
Madison Jay, you already know. At the end of the day, it's
I come apart.
just the work, man. You know what I mean? I've been in it too long not to make the proper connections and to make the right thing shape. You know what I mean? Like, I would feel like I'm on a gerbil wheel if I didn't make some type of jump, some type of progression. So therefore, you're going to see Shade 4-5. You know what I mean? You're going to see being featured on The Source, being featured in XXL, billboards. You know what I mean? You're going to see things of that nature because now it's like, okay, we got to up the ante, especially as an independent artist. You know, you got to up the ante for yourself and for others as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I ain't come to play,
Right.
you know what I mean, with anybody. So I already know what type of time I'm on. And it's greatness. You know what I mean? That's what I strive for. That's what I do it for, is just to set the tone of greatness. So, you know.
That was heavy though, cause I'm like, damn, man. I wonder what it felt like. Like, yo, you got the phone call. Hey, man, you're on page 86. The freshman, like.
And then I get the issue on my birthday.
Oh, that's heavy.
It dropped. I think maybe it dropped maybe a couple days, but it got to this market on my birthday. You know what I mean? September 2nd. So it was just, man, it was really one of those things of like, you cannot describe, you can't script moments like that.
Right.
I mean, I say that a lot. You cannot script moments like this because I'm looking at this magazine and I used to steal this magazine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As a teenager, just
Yeah, I swiped a couple too. Man.
yeah, you know, after my subscription ran out, 'cause I did have a subscription.
That $12, man. That shit. Sometimes you just didn't have it.
I'm telling you, and you know,
they sent the invoice to the mail.
yeah,
and
man,
everything.
my Duke, she got the first joint. You know what I'm saying? And I, you know, hey, it's up to you now. You know what I'm saying? After that,
Right.
of course, I ain't got no, you know, I ain't got no
Right.
job.
I gotta get those.
Yeah, man, oh man, and then just being irresponsible, like, yo, but like you said, I gotta have them.
Yeah, gotta have those.
Gotta have them, so
Yeah.
it just became a tradition, swipe. But just to see me in this magazine, I'm like, dude, what in the hell? What in the world? Just, you know, to give it to my kids, like, yo, look, I'm in the magazine.
Right.
Yo, to my family, I'm in the magazine, I'm in XXL, you know, at that, and the freshman issue. And I feel like that's gonna come back at some point, like, yo, look, you know, Madison Jay was in that issue of the freshman, but he wasn't a freshman, he's got his own cover now, you know what I'm saying? Because that's my thing of like, I'm in there now let's go get a, you know, main feature, cover. Let's get the cover. I feel it's gonna happen, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day,
Speak into existence.
you
man.
gotta speak it into existence, you gotta work for it, and at the end of the day, man, I'm clocked in overtime. So
That's what's
we're
up,
gonna
man.
see it in the future.
So, like, if you were signed today, who would you sign with, and why? Like, if you was, would you, first off, would you want a major deal, or would you like to stay independent?
Man, I'm gonna be realistic. Whatever, you know, the situation of wherever it makes sense. I mean, if I can have a situation of where back in, you know what I mean, where I'm not putting in too much time with the label to where they can trap me. Because it's just gotta make sense, man. It's gotta make sense. I'm not willing to go and be a slave for someone else after being a slave damn near my whole life anyway.
Right.
Like, come on, man. We gotta make it make sense at the end of the day. So my whole thing is, yo, I'm definitely not just willing to jump for a buck. You know what I mean? That's just me, man. You know what I mean? I'm talking about well-fed.
Right.
You know, I got a couple of nice threads. My children, you know what I mean, they're in a position of where they're, you know, they're good.
Children's good.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I ain't willing to, you know, again, I'm not willing to just go and, you know, throw myself away just because, hey, I'm trying to chase a bag.
Right.
It's just more to this thing than that, man. It's just more to it than, I mean, anybody else. They can do what they want, move how they want, but just when it comes to Madison Jay, man, I got just a different set of rules that I just move by. And at the end of the day, with a deal, especially with the majors, man, it just has to make sense. I am willing to dance, but only if it just makes sense.
So when it comes to, like, you know, we have some heavy hitters as far as Carolina goes.
Mm-hmm.
Artists feel that has pretty much made it, and they're putting on for the city and putting on for the Carolinas. How do you feel? What do you think that North Carolina needs to do? Because we had this discussion prior about about us moving together like Atlanta did,
right?
And you concurred with that, like you that's probably the wrong word, but you kind of you kind of said that we need to do that. But what do you think? I just feel like something's still missing to where, at least when it comes to Raleigh, like when it comes to county, like Wake County, like
right,
we have so much talent in the area that we just get overlooked. I mean, what do you think we're doing? Do you think we're doing something wrong, or do you think we're on the right path, or what do we need to change in order for that light to say, okay, we was in Charlotte, but boom, we're in Raleigh right now, Wake County. This is the spot. This is where all the artists are. Because I feel like Durham County makes crazy music. Wake County, Raleigh, everybody makes dumb ass dope music, and it's like we just keep that light just keeps going over. You know, you have a few, but
yeah, you got a few, and it's funny because I had a conversation on the Book of Faces about this, man, and I said that Raleigh is popping, but someone actually, kind of, gave me a little bit more insight and light that active, but not lava. You know what I mean? Not lava. It ain't scorching. You know what I mean? It ain't asteroid crashing the earth. Yeah, it's some activity going on, and I can attest to that, even with myself. But it's not something that where it's like, you got a mass import of people come here thinking they about to get on type thing. It's like that. You definitely got that going on with Charlotte. Conversation with a brother, man, about the interstate rule. About how Charlotte running in that 85, you know what I mean? If you go on that 85 line, and then straight, down, you know where it takes you. You know what I'm saying? They're 3 from Atlanta, and then they're running on the 85 pipeline. Us, we're on the 4440 pipeline. Not a lot of activity is coming through that highway.
So pretty much I just heard we're the gas station that you stop to get gas and refill.
Man,
that's what I heard. Okay.
Now,
right.
With that being said, here's what's got to go down now. You got to embrace your culture. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Durham. Shout out to the Bull City. I like the way that they embrace their culture. Mm-hmm. For good and for bad. Durham embraces their culture like none other. The only thing they need now is just some form of spotlight. Raleigh, we have that. I think we just got to step it up in terms of collectively letting them know it's 919 Raleigh. That's the longitude and latitude. Letting them know that it's the cap city.
Right.
You already know the city of Oaks. Like I said, Durham is gonna let you know it's Bull City. Whether it's west, south, east, or north Durham, they're going to let you know it's the Bull City. They're gonna throw their horns up. Later on, they might throw something else up. But at the end of the day, like, Raleigh, but, you don't overlook yourself like the others do. Understand what you got here. You got a beautiful, thriving culture. You know what I mean? We've got a very beautiful, thriving culture that just needs us to put it up and hold and show the world. The world, we gotta yell, let them know, look at this shit over here. The world it's like being overlooked because you're too quiet. Shake the room up, let them know, like rock, but not you know, in the generic sense, nah, like really come up with some way to like shake the room and let them know that, yo, we're here. Whether you with us or not, whether you gonna look at us or not, whether you gonna give us the recognition or not, we are here. That's what it's gonna take. And I think people are just looking for like that whole miracle tip of just like, yo, something magic gonna be like, nah, man, we gotta shake the room up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just really want to do that for the city. And not just myself, but others. Because, like, yo, I'd be a damn fool to say, like, I'm the only talented nigga in the city, let alone the state.
Who you rocking with, though? I mean, who do you
Quite
listen to at this point?
Quite a few. You know what I mean? I ain't going to hold you. Like, I'm not tapped in terms of, like, yo, listening to full bodies of work from niggas unless I'm, like, really, like, a super fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And a super fan in the most humblest way. Because, like, I appreciate this art, man. So, at the end of the day, a nigga dare try to diss me and say, like, yo, you're a groupie or anything like that. Man, I brush shit like that off, man. Nigga,
Right.
I'm a listener of music.
Right,
What kind of shit are you on?
Right,
And
right.
I have no problem mashing the gas on you if I feel any other way anyway.
Right.
Just because I like your music.
Right.
But, for the most part, man, I really have an appreciation for a lot of artists and just their whole aesthetics and what they do. There's quite a few. I dare not go into a whole list of who it is, but
Right.
I mean, they know. And
Yeah.
there's some people that I haven't interacted with that, yo, I do from afar, like, yo, I like what they got going on because I'm a connoisseur of this shit. And I'm like, I hear some of the best music in my own backyard.
Right.
So, you know, it's just we got to put that, we got to praise that. You know what I mean? It's really a lot of artists, and I don't, you know, I don't withhold what I like and who I like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like a lot of artists, and I wish them much success and keep doing their thing and putting on for the city and putting on for the state.
And put on and bring the lava, because we need that light in Raleigh bad. In my opinion, I think we just need that, man.
We do.
We definitely need it. Because, I mean, it's good to see Charlotte winning. I'm happy for the baby.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Petey. And I'm happy for Fayetteville, even though that light hit Fayetteville. Like, he wasn't in Fayetteville when he popped, though. He was in, J. Cole was in New York when he popped. But still, it's big for Fayetteville.
It's dope because they,
You know what I'm saying? But I just need that.
they got the kid Moray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's active right now. It's coming, though. I'm going to be real, though, on the indie scene. Niggas is active.
Yeah.
Niggas is super active. It's a lot of real players out here who are doing their thing on the music tip, just on the indie side in the city, and I think that's what we should be proud of. Like, yo, we know what comes with the mainstream, you know what I mean, and it's no knock to, you know what I mean, the baby and you know what I mean, what his team got going on, but we know what comes with that industry, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're, you know, you either willing to play or you not. So I know a lot of us just don't want to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to play the game. I just kind of rather. So with that being said, salute to those men. You know what I mean? And women who are doing their thing, man. Because it's quite a few of us that just really have a dedication to this. You know what I mean? To this craft and to this culture. And regardless if you're running it up to like $30K or just a couple $100 off of, you know what I mean, a show and some merch. Thankful for that, you know what I mean, and I salute everybody doing their thing because this shit is not easy.
Yeah. Do you feel pressure of falling victim? Because, you know, like we had a brief conversation about how rap used to be.
Right.
Do you feel pressure of falling victim to sounding like the current wave?
I wish I could, you know what I'm saying? I wish I could sound like the current wave. I just sound so much like me.
Right.
Like I promise you, certain, and let me try to see if I can do this. Like, yo, this dope. Like damn, it's dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not self-sabotage, but it's just one of those things of like, yo, I just am so me that I just could never really get into a wave. Like a beat, you know what I mean? A beat style, yo, I'm right. Because I can float on anything, you know what I mean? Or I want to attempt to float on anything. But in terms of like sound, you know what I mean? I just can't do it. I'm always going to be Madison Jay.
That's what's up. So, man, let's get back to this. Well, let's see. I kind of want to go back to the wrestler, man, because you did mention that Bret Hart was your guy.
Yeah, man. That's my guy, man.
And
shout out to
then
Bret.
When it comes to his style of rap, you said it's his you said. Tell him what it was. I forgot. I'm sorry, I haven't bogus.
I mean, Brett was very technical. Very technical.
And I would say that about your flows too.
Yeah. Very.
Them shits is technical.
Yeah, very technical. You know what I'm saying? And just with Brett, he was just, he was a master in the ring, man. He knew how to, put together the matches in terms of what you're seeing, sequence-wise and spot-wise, and he just knew how to. It was just not cookie cutter, but it's just like, like this dude is A1 with this thing, man. And that's why I feel like I am. Like, I'm coming in. I ain't with a lot of the whole gimmickry. I'm coming in to entertain, and I'm doing it my way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I do it at the best of my ability. And again, that's just how I know how Brett moved. So, man, just seeing him and embracing that, even in my rap, like the excellence of execution. Well, I'm the excellence of execution when it comes to rap. So that's just embracing that whole Brett aesthetic.
Have you ever met him before?
Nah. Met some wrestlers, but haven't met the Hitman yet, and that's definitely like on the bucket list, man. I gotta meet the Hitman. That's only right.
Gotta put him in a video.
Gotta put him in a video.
I saw the Migos do that with Ric Flair.
Yeah,
I was like, that was kind of dope, even though the song was okay.
At the end of the day, you got Rick in a video, man.
That still was
just.
It was heavy though.
Yeah, and it's about him. You know what I mean?
He has crazy swag. I saw him at a Comic Con. One year I went to Comic Con. I'm a comic geek.
Yeah.
So I went to Comic Con. I seen him, man, walking in the hall because he was down there when the Green Ranger came up. Shout out to the Green Ranger. I met him. But I seen Ric Flair, man, and you could pay to meet him, right?
Right.
But he was walking with no security. He had his chains on, his rings on. I'm just like, this dude's so boss, man. But I didn't get to walk up on him and talk to him, but he's dope. Stone Cold's my favorite, but Shawn Michaels is cool too. He's dope. Yeah. Yeah, so I read his biography. It was actually pretty good. Yeah. But and he was explaining the whole Brett thing and how they did him dirty. Did you read it? Did you know how they did him dirty back then with
Shawn or Brett?
Shawn Michaels. Well, they did Bret Hart dirty.
Yeah. Oh, you know I know.
I was like, I read the story and Shawn broke it down. He's like, that's why they had beef for years, and I was like, dang. So I thought that was really cool, but
rap's like wrestling, man.
Yeah, man. When just reading behind this, like it's crazy. Yeah. But so if you were, I got my notebook here, world, because Madison Jay is the person you just can't flow the questions with. You actually have to write them down.
Very important that you make sure that you write them down so that you can see them. You want to make sure that's very key, man. Shout out to you, bro, on that.
You know what I'm saying? I had to do that. I had to come correct, man. I had to come correct. So it's like, what is a little, or when it comes to this wrestling, like, so what is a little known fact about wrestling that you wish people would know?
A little known fact. Just at the end of the day, I wouldn't say little known fact, but scripted. Just like a show, a TV show. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine American Gladiators, but scripted. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's scripted. I feel like it's influenced some way. American Gladiators had to be. Yeah. I know you just don't got these niggas up here just casually just doing physical activities.
Right. Like it's almost like gym.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. I thought that was corny when they came out with that, though. I was like, man, y'all reaching.
It's crazy because I actually liked American Gladiators because I like wrestling. Because that's just always and it just kind of remind me of wrestling if wrestlers were like doing exercise shits with regular people. But it's wild, man. It's wild. I ain't gonna lie, might kind of stump now.
Little known fact. A lot of people, I don't know, because wrestling has changed over the years, for one. It's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise.
It's, at the end of the day, it's definitely not fake, but it's scripted. You know what I'm saying? These niggas is not actually fighting. You know what I mean? But you get some instances of where just like at work, where you might fight y'all supposed to be in harmony in one. Right. But yeah, you might square up in the bathroom, in the parking lot, or on the floor, whatever the case may be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, hey, it's somebody that you work with. So, but it just so happens we actually do physical shit for work. So you might be able to slide a couple of stiff shots and then like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? For the most part, man, this thing is entertainment. You know what I mean? It's just like a movie, but it's live action.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And with, with these guys who are in these characters and they trying to entertain us at home and in the audience. So that's the little known fact, man. Definitely not fake, because people have died in that ring. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Like,
rest in peace, Owen Hart, bro.
man, rest in peace to the Rocket, man. You already know, man. Like, people have died. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I forgot the name. Wrestler, he basically had his joint, his larynx crushed.
Oh.
Well, not crushed, but basically he got drop toe hold on the ropes, if I'm not mistaken. I think it might have been Rey Mysterio.
Mm.
I think it was Rey. Not happening, but in terms of who the person was going up against, he was going for the 619. The dude ended up hitting his neck on the ropes as he was going for the 619, and I think he died from that.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? I think he died. So it's just like those things of like things happen, but nah, this shit is definitely not fake. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the physicality that's going on. It's just, scripted and, sports entertainment, man. So don't take it serious.
Right. Who has the best and the worst finishing move?
The best, man. The best would probably be, I'm just going to go with Brett, man. You know what I mean?
Like a sharpshooter, right?
Sharpshooter, man. You know what I mean? Sharpshooter. Of course, love the stunner. Love, these joints are popular, but just in terms of, like, again, Brett is technical. He's going to work on that leg throughout the match so he can put you in the sharpshooter. So, realistically, it's not like, if you hit me with one of your moves, now I might be able to, kick out of it only off the strength of, like, it doesn't really hurt anything on my body. It's a finishing move, so I'll just,
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll take the pin, but realistically, you got to think, Brett, he's 9 times out of 10 in a match, he's going to work on your leg or your back, so when he hooks on the sharpshooter, realistically, it looks like, you going to tap out because you done got your ass beat on that certain part of your body so much. So that's what makes Brett so special and what makes the sharpshooter so special.
So if you could, well, I want to ask you who would you interview, but I already know who it would be.
In terms of
Like wrestling, like if you had to interview a
wrestler,
I want to say
honestly, I honestly would do Vince, man. I gotta do Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not a physical but he's a wrestling character. Gotta do Vince, man. You know what I mean? An evil genius.
Even though he did pull a Diddy with the company, though.
I mean, he
jumped in there and started wrestling. I was like, come on.
Well, you get a little overzealous. You get a little overzealous with the product.
I'm like, yo, man, come on.
Yeah, you get a little overzealous. Like, yo, let me get in the ring. But he definitely pulled a Diddy.
Yeah.
Definitely pulled a Diddy, man. But
it was a dope storyline, too.
Yeah, he just, his brain power. You know what I mean? That brain power, man. I need to know what makes a dude like that tick. I need information. I need, some jewels. I need something because this guy has definitely lived the life of. He's lived the life of one of those, man. And at the end of the day, like I said, just off of something that's been so pivotal to my livelihood, you know what I mean, especially my childhood, and being able to grasp millions of other, people to watch this, this shit called wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I need to dig in this dude's brain, you know what I'm saying? So,
How you feel about these new kids now in wrestling? Because I really don't watch it no more.
I like it, man. It's different. It's just like when I say raps like wrestling, I mean it. And you got just like with wrestling, with rap, people like Snoop Air trash, ain't not saying nothing. Dude, they said that 10 years ago.
Right.
Then they said that 10 years ago. Then they said that 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like literally, there's nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean? Every thing that evolves from the old is gonna get criticized. The same exact thing with wrestling. I mean, people gonna be like, yo, look at the new guys. And it's like a script. They always say, yo, man, I remember back in the day with Stone Cold and The Rock. It's like, bro, that was 20 years ago. That's like somebody in 2000, in the year 2000, saying, yo, I remember back in the 80s, man, when wrestling, like, man, get out of here with that.
It's like the corner store dude, like, I remember back when we used to have new daggone flat tops and
like, yo, bro, that's what's up. Get out of here with that. It's a new era. Things evolve, and things, whether you like it or not, things only get better in their certain way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just it's evolution. It's not de-evolution, it's evolution. So with that being said, these new guys, man, they just got a whole new style of work. Mind you, they're taking less drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because we knew the drugs were heavy back in the day. You know what I mean? Especially at wrestling's peak.
Rick was cool.
You know, like, come on, man. Let's cut it out.
That's all I'm going to say.
You know, a lot of PEDs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, just, hey, man, you know, I'm pretty sure these guys are going to live a bit longer, unfortunately, than those before them.
Yeah.
But, like, I appreciate it because it's like, again, like athletics, these young guys can do almost anything now. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you got fives that are running the court on basketball now, almost like they're ones.
Yeah.
Or twos. Then the same thing, you got big men in wrestling now who are doing shit that cruiserweights do. You know what I mean? Somebody like Rey Mysterio or Juventud Guerrero that they would that they would do. They're doing it 350 pounds, you know what I mean, plus dive over the ropes. So it's just things that evolve so heavy, man. And, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, it's only going to continue, to me, I don't want to say better, but to expand. Things will only expand in wrestling. Like, right now, I think it's like a huge period of wrestling because it looks like the WWE, former WWF, looks like, possibility of Vince, you know what I mean, saying I'm out. A big sale, you know, you can look it up, you know, the sale to NBC with the Peacock channel and all that good stuff, man. It just looks like the signs are pointing. Then you got a whole new wrestling entity, AEW, which has been bubbling right now. They've been doing their thing for about a year and some change now. And like, we're in a renaissance period, kind of like the last renaissance period was with WCW and WWF going at it, the Monday Night Wars, and their whole little thing of, like, you know, basically the era that most people really gravitated to and saw during that time. Now we're getting into an era of where, you know, just like everything in life, everything is digitized. Everything's going digital, you know what I'm saying, with the, you know, phones, computers, waves like that, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the future is for wrestling, you know, actually with the new guys, to see where they take it, because in all honesty, I think, like, people don't, you know, you got the traditionalists feeling like that they ain't gonna do shit, that they're ruining the business, but at the end of the day, they're still here, so that's gotta say something.
True. So what do you, when it comes to your legacy, what do you want people to know about you or to remember?
Absolute greatness. Absolute greatness. And when I say that, you gotta understand, I don't do this to do mediocre. I don't do it to be looked at as average. I do it to be better than the best, better than the rest, and to have my name, you know, in the rafters as one of the best to do it, one of the most entertaining to do it, one of the greatest to ever do it. And that's what I strive for. I study it to be, to be like it. You know, I study this game, and I study the players in the game so that I can be aligned with them. I'm not trying to study the losers. You know what I mean? I want to be with the greats. Not the average, but the greats. So just, you know, this is a legacy that's built on greatness. That's all I've ever tried to provide. All I've ever tried to give is just quality work and greatness. You know what I mean? From a young kid out of Raleigh, North Carolina, you know, who's grown into a man and really given the world some jewels through my music. So that legacy is something that's very, very important to me, and making sure that I leave one that'll last.
Well, man, I want to thank you for taking this interview, man. You know what I mean? Because you could have been anywhere else in the world. Well, shit, you have it. You know what I'm saying? But you're chilling with the regular Douglas, man. And I really appreciate it. It's an honor. You know what I'm saying? Like, to actually be sitting down with one of my favorite wordsmiths in the city. You know what I'm saying? So that's really good. I didn't even give the world our brief history. Like, we have a mutual friend, and you know what I'm saying? And now
Charles, the mayor, man.
And he said some real powerful words about you. He said you was very consistent. And that's the one thing that stood out to me. And just looking at the body of work, yes, you're very consistent, and that you were very creative. And he said, like, he had a lot of good words to say about you.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to the mayor out Chauncey, man.
That's our connection that we had.
Man, that's the big bro, man. That's the big bro.
Yeah.
I got a lot of love for that guy. I'm very proud of, you know what I mean, the transformation that he's going through in his career. Bringing him to where he's at now. That stuff, like, you can't script moments like that. Like, you can't script the stuff that he's doing now, because I'm pretty sure years ago he didn't see himself in that position.
I didn't see him singing either, but
like, and you know,
yeah, doing what he's doing.
But sometimes it's like that.
Actually, I did, but not to the level that
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he sung back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But not to the level he took it.
Not that level. Not that level.
Son of soul, man. But bro, I ain't gonna hold you, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate you for having me, you know, on the platform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that shit like that means a lot to me, because you could be anywhere in the world. You could be talking to anybody else, you know what I mean? But you're definitely talking to Wake County's finest, Madison Jay. That means a lot.
Wake County's finest,
you know,
man.
Things like that, I do not, you know, they don't get swept under the table. You know what I mean? I just love to build with people, and a brother such as yourself, I felt like it was Mando that we built it. So
yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity. And come on, man. You know Madison Jay at the Madison Jay. You know, I usually spell it out, man, but I think, man, y'all, hey, listen, man, Madison, MADISON, So there's only one. Tap in and tune in with me, man. You already know, on all platforms, man. I'm everywhere.
Everywhere. So with that saying, man, peace in the hood, stop the violence. It's Regular Douglas, man. We out.
County.
Bomb. Stop recording. Please tell me that recorded, bro. I'll be mad as hell if that shit recorded. Man, thanks, man. Let me make sure that's off. I don't know if that was off or not.
Appreciate you, man.
It did not. I had to do some editing.